color in court. You know, we've always said what it says is that the district attorney should look long and hard at prosecuting Tyrell Efron. We've said that from day one. They should do it now. They have him admitting to perjury. They have him committing extortion. The jury saw through it and came to an enormously quick and speedy verdict, the right verdict, and we thank this jury. And again, for me, my partner Chad, we're honored to have represented this amazing family. Rocky is one of my closest friends, but he's also just a great person. Rihanna, they are seriously the greatest people, and I said I love them, and I really do love them, and I got emotional in my summation because I care about them. This is one of the happiest days of my life, and I'm happy for them because they've earned this and deserve it.
A$AP Rocky just pulled off one of the most shocking legal victories in Hollywood history. He was staring down the barrel of a 24-year prison sentence, and now he's a free man. No probation, no community service, nothing. But how did this happen? Was the case against him destined to fail? Or did something more sinister go down behind the scenes? Let's dive into how A$AP Rocky dodged prison time and why some people believe this trial was flawed from the very start. It all started in 2021. A$AP Rocky was accused by former friend and A$AP Mob member A$AP Relli of something utterly shocking that sent shockwaves through the hip-hop community. According to Relli, Rocky had allegedly pulled a gun on him in broad daylight on a busy Hollywood street and fired the shots, one of which grazed Relli's hand. The details painted a grim picture of betrayal. Relli claimed that Rocky, someone he once considered a brother, had completely snapped over ongoing business disputes and personal tensions within the A$AP Mob. The situation escalated rapidly. Rocky was dramatically arrested at LAX Airport while returning from a trip with Rihanna, his high-profile girlfriend. Law enforcement swarmed the terminal, catching him off guard in front of hundreds of onlookers. The scene was chaotic, with fans capturing the moment on their phones as Rocky was handcuffed and led away. Prosecutors weren't holding back. They hit him with serious charges of assault with a semi-automatic firearm and aggressively pursued a 24-year sentence. The stakes couldn't have been higher. The media frenzy that followed was relentless. Headlines screamed about Rocky's fall from grace, with news outlets plastering his mugshot across every platform. Commentators speculated wildly, some painting him as another celebrity who had spiraled out of control, while others questioned the legitimacy of the charges. But even amid the chaos, cracks in the case started to show. From the very beginning, details didn't quite add up, leaving many wondering if there was more to this story than met the eye. One of the first red flags: there was no physical evidence, no shell casings, no bullets, no gun. When police combed through the crime scene, they found nothing to support Relli's claims. No footprints, no gunpowder residue, not even disturbed debris that could suggest shots had been fired. It was as if the alleged shooting had never happened. But here's where things get weird. 2 days later, Relli returned to the scene and, surprise, found shell casings himself. He handed them over to the police, claiming they were from the shots Rocky allegedly fired. But experts couldn't confirm whether the casings were even from that day. The casings had no distinguishing marks, no clear signs of recent discharge, and they were just there. It was almost too convenient, raising eyebrows among investigators. To make things even murkier, the area had already been thoroughly swept by law enforcement. How could they have missed something so crucial? Relli's discovery felt staged, almost as if he knew exactly where to look. Speculation swirled. Had the casings been planted? Was this an attempt to salvage a crumbling case? It looked shady. The defense pounced on it, highlighting the inconsistencies and painting Relli's actions as desperate moves to fabricate evidence. This moment would become a pivotal point in dismantling the prosecution's case. The prosecution hoped that security footage would be the smoking gun, the undeniable piece of evidence that would seal Rocky's fate. The video captured Rocky and Relli in a heated argument on the street, voices raised, tempers flaring, and their body language growing more aggressive by the second. Passers-by glanced nervously as the confrontation escalated, adding tension to the scene. But here's the thing: the footage never showed a gun, no weapon in Rocky's hand, no shots fired on camera. It was just guys arguing, emotions running high, but nothing that definitively pointed to a violent crime. The prosecution tried hard to spin it as proof that Rocky was acting aggressively, emphasizing his animated gestures and raised voice. They suggested that the argument was the prelude to the shooting, even without the gun appearing on screen, but without visual evidence of a weapon or the actual act of firing. The jury was left wondering, was this even a crime? Was this confrontation truly as dangerous as the prosecution claimed? Or was it just another heated street argument blown out of proportion? Questions swirled in the courtroom. If Rocky had pulled the gun, why didn't the footage catch it? Could the camera angle have missed it? Or was there simply no gun at all? These doubts lingered. Night of the prosecution's case, making it harder for jurors to connect the dots without solid, undeniable proof. Rocky's lawyer, Joe Tacopina, was relentless. He tore apart Relli's story piece by piece, leaving no stone unturned. Relli kept changing his account, first saying Rocky fired the shots, then backpedaling and claiming only one shot grazed him. He couldn't keep the details straight, stumbling over his own words under cross-examination. Every inconsistency was magnified in front of the jury. Tacopina didn't stop there. He pointed out how bizarre it was that Relli just found shell casings 2 days after the police had thoroughly combed the area and found nothing. How could trained investigators miss something so crucial, only for Relli to conveniently stumble upon them later? Tacopina boldly suggested that Relli planted the casings to strengthen his case, accusing him of orchestrating a setup to frame Rocky. He also highlighted the lack of any supporting evidence, no fingerprints on the casings, no eyewitnesses who saw the alleged shooting, and no surveillance footage showing a gun. It all seemed shaky, too convenient, with every contradiction exposed and no hard evidence to anchor the prosecution's claims. The jury started to see the holes. Doubt crept in, and Tacopina seized the moment, reinforcing the idea that this entire case was built on nothing but a crumbling foundation. Throughout the trial, Rihanna stood firmly by Rocky's side, showcasing her unwavering loyalty. She attended multiple hearings, often dressed in understated outfits, attempting to avoid the swarm of cameras but still making her presence unmistakably known. Her mere appearance sent waves through the courtroom, reminding everyone of her star power. Her silent support spoke volumes, louder than any public statement could have. Fans and media alike speculated that Rihanna's influence, being one of the most beloved and recognizable celebrities in the world, might have swayed the jury on a subconscious level. The idea of a global icon standing behind Rocky possibly added a layer of sympathy and doubt among jurors. The media frequently caught glimpses of her leaving courtrooms visibly tense, sometimes holding Rocky's hand or offering a reassuring glance, but always unwavering in her support. Paparazzi photos of her clutching legal documents or wiping away tears only amplified the emotional weight of her involvement. It painted a powerful and enduring image, Rihanna standing by her man through thick and thin, no matter what storms they faced. But no celebrity scandal is complete without Azealia Banks throwing in her 2 cents, and this time, she really went all out. Banks took to social media, launching into one of her infamous rants, filled with wild accusations and conspiracy-laced theories about the entire situation. She hinted that the beef between Rocky and Relli wasn't just about money, it was deeper, darker, and way more personal, according to her. Underlying tensions involving Rihanna may have played a bigger role than anyone was admitting in true Azealia fashion. She didn't stop there. She dragged the late ASAP Yams into the conversation, making dark, founded claims about Rocky's past and the dynamics within the ASAP mob. She even suggested that the whole situation was part of a bigger pattern of betrayal and manipulation within the hip-hop community. Her posts were explosive, filled with bold statements and shady comments that quickly made the rounds online. Fans, used to Banks' unpredictable outbursts, dismissed most of her rants as her usual chaos, but this time, it stirred up even more controversy. Comment sections lit up with heated debates, some siding with Banks' claims while others called her out for stirring the pot with baseless accusations. Either way, she managed to keep the drama alive in center stage. When it was all said and done, the jury didn't buy the story. After deliberating for just a few hours, they came back with the verdict: not guilty. Rocky had taken a huge gamble by not taking a plea deal, which could have reduced his sentence to just 6 months, but he bet on himself and it paid off. The courtroom erupted into chaos. Rocky's legal team jumped out of their seats, cheering and hugging each other in pure disbelief and excitement. Rihanna, who had been holding her breath the entire time, reportedly teared up and covered her face with her hands, overwhelmed with emotion. She was seen embracing Rocky tightly moments later. visibly relieved that the nightmare was over outside the courthouse. Fans who had gathered since early morning screamed in celebration. Social media exploded instantly. #FreeASAP was replaced with #ASAPFree, trending worldwide within minutes. Videos circulated of supporters dancing in the streets, while others posted emotional reactions, celebrating Rocky's victory as a win against what many believed was a flawed and biased case for Rocky. This wasn't just about freedom, it was validation. Against all odds, with the threat of 24 years looming over him, he had stood his ground. And in the end, he walked out of that courtroom a free man, with the world watching and cheering him on. ASAP Rocky walked away from the trial completely free, no jail time, no probation, not even community service. It was a jaw-dropping outcome considering he was staring down the possibility of spending nearly a quarter of his life behind bars. But the question lingers, was this a case of justice served, or did Rocky just get incredibly lucky? The trial was filled with bizarre twists, the weak evidence, the sudden discovery of shell casings days after the incident, and Relli's shaky, inconsistent story. All these elements pointed to a case that felt rushed, flawed, and perhaps even manipulated. And then there's the influence of celebrity status. Did Rocky's fame and Rihanna's quiet but powerful courtroom presence tip the scales in his favor? Or was the prosecution simply unprepared, unable to deliver hard-hitting evidence that could seal Rocky's fate? One thing's for sure, ASAP Rocky dodged a bullet, figuratively and, according to him, literally. It's a legal Houdini act that will be talked about for years. What do you think? Was the case a setup from the start, a desperate attempt to bring Rocky down, or did he simply have the right team, the right strategy, and a bit of luck to beat the odds? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I want to hear what you think about this wild ride.